Hey, hey! Hey everyone! SecDevOps say hi! Hey, it's good to see you! Oh, there's the music. Mr. Ronald, sir, you do some JavaScript. Have you ever done Angular? Have you ever messed with Angular or React? I'm starting to binge on the front end stuff and learn so I can actually compare these frameworks and give them a fair shot. So yeah, tonight is Angular. We're gonna dive in and learn Angular. So this is Google's framework as opposed to React, which is Facebook's front-end framework. And like React, it says you can do it for mobile as well as web apps. So we're gonna see. Okay, maybe Ronald, if you hang out, then maybe you can answer some of these questions. I know for React they have React Native, and for Angular I heard you can use Cordova, or you can use something called NativeScript. And so I was interested to see how NativeScript compared to React Native, and do you have to modify your components as much as you do in React? So you said, yeah, it's your first framework, huh? That's cool. I hear it's pretty thorough and full-featured, which is actually why I want to check it out. People say that is usually the drawback and the bad thing, but with Angular, like with Python, there's two major frameworks, right? Django and Flask. I prefer Django because it does package everything together cohesively. And so with React, I realized I'd still have to implement the router and a state, so I'd have to use React Router or React Navigation or MobX or Redux to manage state. And so I was like, I don't want to have to weigh all these out and figure this out. Give me the framework that has it all in there. So, okay, step one, npm install @angular/CLI. Alright, I can do that. Let's see. Step 2, create a workspace. Alright, ng new my app. ng new my app. Nice. Okay. Would you like to add Angular routing? Yes. Which style sheet format would you like to use? I would like to use SCSS. SecDevOps AI says, okay, you'll love Angular then? Good. Good, you know, I hear a lot of negative things about it, and people like to put high praises on React, but I have to see for myself. I can't make a fair judgment unless I really give it a shot. And one thing that did look like a big turnoff was how it separated all of the components into separate files for the HTML templates. And that seems like it could get tedious, but it might also be better. Okay, so I wanted to check out ng new my app. Wait, we already did that. My app. Okay. So let's open it up in WebStorm. As you guys probably know by now, I am a big fan of JetBrains products. And WebStorm is their JavaScript one, and their web one in general, so it's good for front-end stuff. And I bet they even have some Angular tooling. Okay, so what I have open was the Bug Bounty web browser extension. We made a cross-browser plugin the other day, but that's not what we're looking at now. Let's go ahead. So I want to see if we do create new project. Yeah, so they've got Angular. They've got Angular.js, which I guess is the old version. That's Angular 1. And then Angular CLI is the newer one, I guess. Okay, so that probably is just going to call the same thing we just did, so I don't actually want to do that, but it looks like you can run that new project through WebStorm. So here it's called My App. Let's see. Okay, so it gave us a whole bunch of files. What do we have? And it's a good thing. This is why I spent the day yesterday learning TypeScript, was because I knew Angular required it, or basically was built in TypeScript. So yeah, we got the TypeScript config, and it sets up the outdir. Okay, so it's going to build everything in dist, and that's all we need to see there. Okay, tslint is just the lint directives. Here's the README. Let's see. Run ng serve for a dev server, and code scaffolding. Run ng generate component name. Okay, I learned about code scaffolding a long time ago when I used Cake PHP, which is like PHP's port of Ruby on Rails. Its scaffolding is pretty cool. Well, there's two ways I guess you can think about it depending on how it's used. It can either generate code for you dynamically, or it can actually output the code like a code generator. Ng build. Okay, that answers a lot of my questions. So ng serve and ng build. So I'm gonna just see what happens when I run ng build. I want to see what the distribution folder looks like. I'm kind of anticipating an index.html and then maybe a handful of JavaScript and CSS files. Okay, so what else do we have in this project directory? Okay, so it's done down here. So, okay, it just built all of the files. And so in our distribution, yeah, we got an index.html and then a whole bunch of JavaScript files. Cool. So that'll be real easy to deploy. Just push it up to S3 or something like that. Let's see. So yeah, if I was going to serve it, I'd probably push it up on S3 so that it's real efficient. Or I'd use something like Nginx and just do some heavy caching and serve it myself. Okay, so let's see. tsconfig, readme, we looked at that. Package.json, let's see what kind of dependencies it's got. Oh, and what kind of scripts we've got. So these are the npm scripts. So we could run npm run ng serve. Okay, serve, build, test, lint. Okay, we're going to be interested in serve and build mostly. Dependencies. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of Angular ones. Animations, common, compiler, core, forms, platform browser, router. Good. Animations. Oh, I'm interested in dabbling with that one. Forms. I guess it does some form validation, which would be real nice actually. And the router, which I'm really interested in too. And core.js, rxjs, ts live. Okay, and some dev dependencies. Some of these I know are for testing. Okay, cool. So that's all pretty straightforward so far. Angular.json. I guess this is some Angular-specific configs. Schema version, projects. Ronald says, now that I'm thinking of it, I did most of my work in Angular 1. Looking forward to seeing the TypeScript. Yeah, TypeScript is pretty straightforward, actually. It just allows you the option to type your parameters, and you can create interfaces as well. Other than that, it's just nice having the types. Okay. I'm not going to go through all that, but that just looks like some app config. Okay, so E2E. Oh, I think the protractor is for end-to-end testing. I'm not going to get into that, but they do bake in a lot of the testing stuff, so that's good to know. Okay, so let's look at our source. tslint, tsconfig, test, style.scss. Okay, it's empty. And enable file watcher to compile. I'm going to say no for now. Not yet. I'm going to see if they have a tool that does that. Main.ts. Okay, that's our TypeScript. Okay, type. My linter wants to know which node to use. Use that one. Alright. So this is the main file. So there's just some imports up at the top. App module, that looks like ours. Yeah, so there's an app folder. App.module, app.module.ps. Okay, so back here it basically, this is just like a bootstrap. It just calls everything, gets it started. And all of our main app logic is here in app module. And so, just some boilerplate imports. And it looks like there's, to me it looks like a decorator, but I think that's a TypeScript thing, so I think that's a type. Declarations, yeah it is, so declarations are what they do in the TypeScript. Basically with TypeScript, when so last night when I did the TypeScript, I wrote a package and I pushed it up to NPM. And what you have to do is when you compile the TypeScript down to JavaScript, you have it create a declarations file. And that's basically like a header file in C++. It basically says, hey, here's all the types and all the functions that are defined in here. So you have a very clear header file that the IDEs can use to inspect things. Okay, declarations, imports, providers, and bootstrap. Okay. Okay, so now that we've looked through this, let's go back to their little tutorial. I can get with this so far. This is all pretty straightforward. And it's interesting that all of the stuff is just right in the app folder, kind of flat right there right now. Okay, so let's see. ng new command prompts you for information, blah blah blah. Okay, step 3, serve the application. ng serve -- open with the open option. The open option automatically opens your browser. Oh, okay. Alright, it's compiling. So I think if you do ng serve, it's also going to, yeah, it's going to watch your files and rebuild the app. Okay, so that's why I didn't turn on the IDE watchers, because I was pretty sure that this tool would do it for us. So okay, it's in. Now let's kind of test this out. Let's just delete some text here and make sure that the auto update's actually working. Okay, I hit save. Yeah, it's found the changes. It's looking. It automatically reloaded the browser. That's awesome. You know, as much as I hate on JavaScript for like the over packaging of everything, the tool chain is really complex, but it's kind of nice, you know. It's kind of nice to just pop it out of the box and have like the auto watching and auto reloading out there. So let's see, edit your first Angular component. Components are the fundamental building block of Angular applications. They display data on the screen, listen for user input, and take action based on that input. As part of the initial app, the CLI created the first Angular component for you. It is the root component, and it is named app root. Okay, so that's probably in our main, where is it? App module. Named my app. App.component.ts. Oh no, it's in app.components. There it is, app component. Title my app, that's it. Hey Mythic, hey Dark Coder. Welcome guys. We're learning about Angular today. And this is one I've actually been really looking forward to. I've been way behind on the front end frameworks. You know, if it weren't for the React that I just learned, I'd probably still be using jQuery and getting laughed at by people. But you know, Bootstrap, the Bootstrap CSS, that is still, I mean, that's still cool to use, right? They use jQuery, so whatever. Let's see, change the title from my app. Oh, okay, so this doesn't have to be like an ID, you can give it spaces and stuff. So what should we call it? Should we do something? We'll just call it example app. Nah. We'll just make it boring. A boring old example app. Okay, so all we did was change the name. The browser automatically reloads. Did it change anything though? Oh yeah, it changed up here. So in the HTML, I'm guessing that value is getting output dynamically. Here? Okay. Oh, they even use the same kind of double brace, just like the Jinja templates in Python. So I'm already familiar with that. Let's see. Open component.css. Well, in this case, we're using SCSS. Component, and give the component some style. Alright, let's just copy it over. We're gonna make it red. Red. There you go. Look at that. I mean, Angular. That was easy. We're done. I mean, that's not as hard as people say. Alright, let's see. Let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes. Final code review. Oh, we're done. See? They just told us. I mean, we're certified now. Should I go start applying for Angular jobs? You can now download an example. No, next steps. Okay. Now that you've seen the essentials, the Heroes Tour, that's the next one, provides additional hands-on learning. It walks you through the steps to build an app that helps the staffing agency manage a group of superhero employees. It has many features you'd expect to find in a data-driven application. Acquiring and displaying lists, editing selected items detail, navigating to different views. Yeah, this in particular, I'm interested in how they handle this navigating to different views. I know they push a browser history state so that you can use forward and backward, but I want to see how you actually write the code to switch back and forth between components. Okay. Let's briefly look at this architecture guide, and then let's go through the tutorial. We'll just kind of look at the table of contents. Okay, architecture overview. Angular is a platform and framework for building client applications in HTML and TypeScript. Angular is written in TypeScript. It implements core and optional functionality as a set of TypeScript. Okay, so let's see components and templates. User inputs. Okay, button, click, on click. Okay, simple enough. Okay, user input, so then you have the callback inside the class component. Okay, so forms, template-driven forms, reactive forms. Okay, I think we're going to go through the forms in this tutorial. Bootstrapping? Not really interested right now. HTTP client. Most front-end applications communicate with back-end services over the HTTP protocol. Modern browsers support two different APIs, XML HTTP request and fetch. The HTTP client in Angular offers a simplified one for XML HTTP. Okay, well that's cool they provide a library. Hopefully that does everything we need it to. I mean, HTTP requests aren't that complicated. Routing and navigation, yeah, I'm particularly interested in this and the animations. Okay, the router enables navigation from one view. Okay, and then they link me to the glossary. I do want to see, okay, what is a view in this case? Is that just a form of a component? Oh, come back. View, the smallest grouping of display elements that can be created and destroyed. Okay, so I guess a view is a collection of components. Like a card. A card would probably be a good example of a view. Angular renders a view under the control of one or more directives. Okay, I need that one too. Especially component directives and their companion templates. A directive is a class that can modify the structure of the DOM. Got it. So a directive is a class that modifies the DOM. So it's like a special subclass. That makes sense. A view is specifically represented by a viewRef instance associated with a component. A view that belongs to a component is called a host view. Oh, so a view goes inside a component? Views are collected into view hierarchies. Okay, I guess we'll get to that. I don't want to get too into the weeds there. And we have... okay. I just wanted to browse around that architecture guide. Okay, so we still got our app running. And now we're ready to do their hero tutorial. This shouldn't take us too long. The Tour of Heroes tutorial covers the fundamentals of Angular. Good, because that's what I want to learn. In this tutorial, you will build an app that helps a staffing agency manage its stable of heroes. The basic app has many features you'd expect to find in a data-driven blah blah blah. Okay, well, let's see. Create components, data binding, editable fields, bind components, keystrokes and clicks, format data with pipes. Okay, that sounds important. Create a shared service, use routing to navigate. Okay, so this sounds perfect. It's about right at the level I want to be. You learn enough Angular to get started and gain confidence that Angular can do whatever you need it to do. Okay, what you'll build? Okay, let's see. Let's just get started. Wait. Where's the actual tutorial? Oh, it's just on the left. Okay. The application shell. You'll begin creating an initial application through the CLI. Okay, we already did that. Create a new workspace. Why not? We'll go ahead and create a new one. A new project. We'll use this one. Angular CLI. And the project's gonna be Angular Hero Project. Sure. We'll just replace this window. Alright, we'll let that build and I'll keep going here. Okay, then ng-serve Angular components. The page you see is the application shell. The shell is controlled by an Angular component named app component. Yeah, that's the top level component. Make changes to the application. Open the project. Okay, so we've got app.component.ts with the TypeScript component code, the HTML template, and the styles. Okay, so there's 3 pieces generally to a component separated. Change the title. Okay, then output the title. Let's see what it... that didn't work, it didn't finish. Okay, let's do one from here. ng new. What is it called? Angular Hero Project. Do we want Angular routing? Yes. And I want to use SCSS. Okay, add styles. Alright, I'll copy over your styles. As soon as my project's done being created, I'll open it up. Okay, it's indexing, so we open up our source app, And we've got our app component. No. So we should be able to put regular CSS in there like that. And then on our HTML, that's still fine. Now wait a second. Yeah. Okay. So then they give us the final code to look at and compare. So let's see. We need the HTML, the CSS, and the TypeScript. Okay, so TypeScript, yeah, has our component. I guess, yeah, we can Angular hero project. The HTML. Oh, that's all they put in the HTML. Okay, we just wipe everything else out. And we gave it their CSS. So now, down here, we can run ng-serve. Now, what is this TypeScript window at the bottom of my... And there's an Angular console? Interesting. Oh yeah, I wonder if I need to enable some extra plugins. Or if they're already turned on. Let's try Angular. Installed Angular templates. I'll skip those. Angular 2 types. Oops. Live templates. No. No, I don't want any of those. Okay. There we go. Here's our new project. Looking great so far. Nothing too overwhelming. Wait. Routing. Wait. No. That's a different page. That was an old page I had open. Okay, summary. You created the initial application. You learned Angular code. Yeah. Next. The hero editor. Go away. Create the hero's component. And oh, we're gonna be using some code generator. Okay, I need a new terminal then. In my new terminal, I'm gonna say ng generate component heroes. I guess this is gonna be our block that lists our heroes. That's my guess. Okay, so where did it put it? Okay, so put it in a subfolder inside our app. Okay, got it. So now we've got all of our pieces here. What is the spec? I'm not sure what that spec file is. I just won't touch it for now. Okay, so we got a new component. And this is what it looks like, I guess, out of the box. Yeah, it's got a constructor and an Angular in it. And it ties itself to the other template files. You can always import the component symbol from the Angular core library and annotate the component with component. Okay. The add component is a decorator function that specifies the Angular metadata for the component. Okay, yeah, that's what we're seeing here. The selector is the CSS selector where it goes, so I guess we need to go back to our main HTML, and this is where we would put... oh yeah, it even detected it. It even says, oh, do you mean this one? Yeah, that is the one I meant. Thank you. So now if I save it, and it recompiles and I come back, okay. So yeah, we just created a new element, and it basically creates an HTML element that you can add. Okay. Okay. ng init is a lifecycle hook. Yeah, I bet there's a whole bunch of those. Angular calls ng init shortly after creating a component. It's a good place to put initialization logic. I wonder when you would use ng on init over constructor Maybe when you want to ensure that the rest of Angular has loaded and you've got the rest of the Angular components. Add a hero property. Okay, so let's go back to our TypeScript and let's start adding a field. So we'll... Now... I'm confused. We don't want to name this whole... We don't want to hardcode one hero name into our component, right? So hold on. Add a hero property to the hero's component. Yeah, which is what we're looking at. Show the hero in hero's component.h. Okay, so in our own component, this is where we'll say, we'll just output the hero. Okay, so now we've got one hooked up. Now, create a hero class. There we go. So now we're going to make it more dynamic and create multiple flexible ones. Okay, so now do we want to do that in our component? Hold on. Create a hero class in its own file in the source app folder. Okay, so not inside our component specifically, just a class that's going to be available to our application kind of as a whole. Okay, so we're just going to define a class in here. We're going to give it an ID of type number and name string. Return the heroes component. And import the hero class. Okay, yeah, so now up here we'll just say import hero from... Wait. No, they want us to do it like this. Okay, so we're going to say import hero from, and then a straight up relative path. Okay, then we need to use it somewhere. That's why it's grayed out. So we're going to need more than one hero, so we're going to need like an array of heroes. Okay, so they're basically saying let's just make one. Let's make one for now. Okay, yeah, so we're just hard-coding one hero into the hero property. Okay, so how does it know what to print out? Okay, it doesn't. You do have to tell it. So we'll go ahead and say print out the hero name. Cool, still working. And the ID, sure, why not? Nobody cares about the ID, but we'll do it anyway. Good. Format with an uppercase pipe. Okay, so I guess that just pipes it through a function, and that's in the HTML. So yeah, we'll pipe it through uppercase. Okay. Okay, that's pretty convenient. Alright, pipes are a good way to format strings. Currency amounts. Oh, I can see that being really useful for formatting money. Dates too, definitely. And other display data. Okay, I bet you can write your own functions to pipe through too. And you can create your own. Yeah, cool. Edit the hero. User should be able to edit the hero in an input box. The text box should both display the hero's name property and update the property as the user types. That means data flows from the component class out to the screen and from the screen back to the class. To automate that data flow, set up a two-way data binding between the input form and the hero.name. Okay, so we do that in the actual HTML file. Okay, so yeah, let's try this. So let's create a div, and then we're going to give it a label with the hero's name. But we don't want to just put the hero's name in there just like that. we need to do something else. So it looks like there's a special bracket syntax. So you do bracket ng model. So I guess you're saying, hey, I'm tying this to a model. Well, not a model, but a specific field, and you give it a placeholder. Hero name. Oh no, that's the input. So the input actually needs to be input, and then that stuff. Okay, that's better. So let's go back here, and it crashed? Or did I just mess up the rendering? What if I put it all in a P? It worked a second ago when it was all in a P. Or did I not wire it up correctly? Hold on. Let's go back. Well, am I done? Angular's two-way binding syntax. Here it binds hero name property to the HTML text box. Yeah, and that's the right file. Okay. The missing forms module. Notice that the app has stopped working. To see the error, open the browser development tools. Okay, so we'll do Control-Shift-I and check out the console. Yeah, there it is. Template parse errors. Unexpected closing tag P. Sorry. Can't bind to ng model since it isn't a known property of input. Okay. Although the model is a valid Angular directive, it isn't available by default. It belongs to the optional forms module, which you must opt in to using. Okay. So it sounds like you can kind of use the pieces you need, but you don't have to use all of their stuff if you don't want to. Angular needs to know how the pieces of your application fit together. In the metadata. Some of the metadata is in component decorators. Other is in ng module decorators. Okay, and I think we saw that in the main app file. No, that's still just a component. Module, yeah, here it is. So the module is the top level thing that holds all our components. And I guess in there is where we need to say import forms module. So we do that, yeah, in app.module.ts. And okay, so let's do it maybe right below this one. Import forms module from Angular forms, semicolon. ng, so the ng model that we're using, which is a directive, is that right? Yeah, the ng model is an Angular directive, and we learned that a directive is a special class that modifies the DOM. So in our HTML, what we're doing is we're adding a directive which is going to modify the DOM somehow. So it's going to modify our element. Okay. So we imported the forms, and we also need to activate it, it looks like, in our components here. No, in our modules. So in our imports, we will add one more for forms module. Alright, very good. So now it should start working. And we see that, okay, so it must be updating our model behind the scenes. Okay, declare heroes component. Every component must be declared in exactly one module. You didn't declare hero component, so why did it work? Because the Angular CLI declared heroes component in the app module when it generated. Oh, did it? Oh, it did. Interesting. So when we used the ng generate to generate our component for us, it even went into our config and installed it. Excuse me, I'm gonna take some water. Okay, it looks like we're done with this section. And just to confirm, we can look at their code, and ours looks like that. Okay, so summary, we use the CLI to create a component. We displayed the component by adding it to the app component shell. I guess that's right there. We use the uppercase pipe, we use two-way data binding. We learned about the app module, we imported the forms module, and we learned the importance of declaring components in the app module, and appreciated that the CLI did it for us. Yes, we did. They skipped that step though. They didn't tell me to appreciate it as part of the steps, so glad they reminded me down here. Alright. Number 2, display the list. Yeah, we're gonna have to create some mock heroes. There we go. I'm gonna... Oh, I wonder if this is like a formal thing that they... Well, no, I don't think so. We'll see. You'll need some heroes to display. Eventually you'll get them from a remote server, but for now we'll just make some fake ones. So create mock heroes in the app folder. Okay. New TypeScript file called mock heroes. Yeah, we'll add it to Git, and I'm gonna go ahead and just copy over their awesome list of mock heroes: Mr. Nice, Narco, Bombastos, Celeritas, Magneta, Rubberman, Dynama, Dr. IQ, Magma, and Tornado. Displaying heroes. You're about to display the list, but yeah, we got to go import it. So in our heroes component. TypeScript, we need to import. So let's import heroes from / mock heroes. Alright, and then in the same file, define a component property called heroes. Yeah, okay, yeah, because we have this one called hero with one hard-coded one. So we can call it like hero list, but we'll just call it heroes like they do. And we will set it to the value of... Well, let's see, did I... Interesting. Why can't it find... Define a component property that exposes heroes. Yeah, so it even helps me autocomplete it. Why is it red? Cannot find name? That's just a linter. That's just a linter problem, I think. No. Do I need to export it or something? Did I forget to export? No, I copied it over. Mock heroes. Yeah, exports heroes. Now... Oh, it's not a colon. That's why. I was using a colon assignment. It should be straight up equals. List heroes with ng4. Okay, I was curious how you iterate through a list here. So in our HTML where we're outputting it, we want to create a table. Okay, so heroes, and then we're going to create an unordered list with a class of heroes. Okay, then we're going to create an li with a span.badge. I think this is emit. I never really use it, but you can just do span.badge and then tab to expand it, and it understands that you want to span with a class of badge. And then you can do double brace hero.id, and then we'll output the hero.name. Okay, now change the li to this star ng4 equals let hero of heroes. That's interesting. Okay, so it's actually going to say repeat this for each one. Okay, I kind of like that. That's kind of nice to see is a repeater directive. It's interesting that that one is like a star and the other one had brackets. I wonder what the difference is there, if there is one. Is a repeater directive? Maybe that's what the star means. It repeats. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Repeat, style the heroes. Wait. You could add more styles. Yeah, I know I could. Heroes.component.ts. No, we're not. We're not changing anything there, are we? Oh, it's just saying you could make it a list in your component. Yeah, so you can add multiple CSS files. Master detail. Styles and style sheets identified in component metadata are scoped to that specific client. Or component. Well, that's interesting. So it won't, like, import all your CSS and then start applying it to everything else on the page. That's it. That's good to know. CSS is scoped to your component. That's a nice feature. I guess if you want to inherit the styles, then maybe you have to add like a global CSS to your style URLs. I wonder if that's the way to do it. Master detail. When a user clicks, well, let's make sure it's still working. Okay. So we got. Wait, hold on. Let's check out our template. Why isn't it not putting out the name? Our mock heroes do have names, don't they? Name? Yeah. Name. I see it. So... Oh, do we need to, like, import the ng4 directive, too? Now, hang on a second. After the browser refreshes, a list of heroes appears. Kind of. Heroes equals heroes. And then in our HTML we say for each heroes, hero ID hero. Wait, is it... I guess we have to check out the... Oh yeah, so here we go. Hero is undefined. But hero of heroes. Oh, it's down here where it's complaining. Yeah, we don't even want that whole piece. Get rid of that. Get out of here. There we go. That's much better. Much better. Now it's working great. Style the heroes. Yeah, well... let's see. So what does this? What does the what do the selectors look like? Interesting. So I guess would we in here would we just say like li? Since it's scoped to this specific element, can we just say like yeah, just this? Okay, so that's nice. You don't even have to worry about like, oh well, this is the inner heroes left inner HTML UL li. No, it's just the freaking li. I can dig that. I can get behind that. Okay. Now style it. Good. Yeah, we styled it. Okay, so we're looking good there. And let me just pull back open. There we go. Master detail. When a user clicks on a hero, the component should display the selected hero detail at the bottom of the page. Yes. Add a click event binding. Okay, so back here where we have our list being generated, we also add another directive. Well, I don't know if that's a directive or what. So we've got the brackets, the parentheses, and the star directives. Okay. On select, I guess that's when someone clicks it, and then now this is interesting. So it's automatically going to bind. This is an example of Angular's event binding syntax. The parentheses around click tell Angular to listen for a click on the li, the list item. When the user clicks in the li, Angular executes the expression. So okay, on click it's going to do this. It's going to say on select hero. Is that on select is a hero's component method you're about to write? I mean, I'd rather just call it select. Like, on click, select the hero. To me, that makes more sense than saying, oh, you clicked me? Call, call on select. It's just like, call select. That's what I want you to do. I don't want you to call on select. Anyway, I just rant about names a lot, I guess. On select is the hero's component. Yeah, we're about to write that. So in our TypeScript file for the component is where we're going to write the select and take a hero, and that's going to be of hero type. And I guess it says, yeah, we need to import it, so I just Alt-Enter, and it adds the import for me. And then you selected. Okay, so now we can check out that click bind and see if the click bind is good. So we'll look at the inspector and check out the console when we click on the name. Okay, cool. So yeah, what if we click right on the bullet? No, it has to be inside. Oh, wait. Oh, I see. It just duplicates if you click. Okay, here? Yeah, so you click anywhere inside the li, including the bullet itself. Add the click event handler. Wait. Oh yeah, we already did that, but... Okay, so in our component, we're going to keep track of who the current selection is. And that's going to be of type hero. And then we created our select, and what we're going to do is update the state, so this .current selection equals the selected hero. And we'll get rid of our little debug statement. Okay, update the details template. Oh yeah, so now in our HTML file we can say, I'll do it down here, we can say h2, and then we'll just, put out the name, so it's going to be the current selection dot name because it's a hero, and it even tells us in the little pop-up of what type it is, which is good. And okay, sure, I'll get used to the piping. We'll make it a habit so we can use some good formatting. Okay, and then you can print out stuff about it. So this is what I deleted earlier. I'll put that back in. And here it's going to be current selection name. Okay, so now we go back here. If we refresh, yes, okay, something's broken. Console, what's wrong? Current selection is undefined. Okay. Hide empty details. Okay, good. They're walking through this step by step for us, holding our hand. After the browser refreshes, the application is broken again. Open the browser tool. Yeah, cannot read prop. Well, I got it. Yeah, undefined. So it's undefined because when we started off, we're not setting it to anything, so it's just null. Well, undefined technically is different than null in TypeScript. So we could set a default, but instead of setting a default, it looks like there's a special directive that tells you what to do if there's empty. Oh, it's an if, ng if. I was like, what is nglf? What does the LF stand for? Okay, an ng if. So I guess we can go back here and say, well, we'll just say, well, how do you do the ng if? Oh, can you just put it right on the whole block? Can we just like wrap that div there and then do just ng if equals current selection does not equal null or undefined? Will that work? And this is a TypeScript thing. Undefined could not be found? No. There we go. So yeah, not equal undefined is enough. And as soon as we click it, then one should be defined, which should trigger that to turn on and give us the display. So we click one, and there it is. Very nice. Okay, I can dig this so far. This isn't so bad. Yeah, okay, that's exactly what they did. They wrapped the whole thing in a div in an if statement. Yeah. So it's pretty intuitive if I can kind of predict exactly what's going to happen next. I like it. I like it a lot. The detail area is blank. Click a hero and it details disappear. Why it works. Yeah, no, I understand why it works. It's updating all the state. What is this? Style the selected hero. It's difficult to identify the selected hero. Yeah, that's true. The selected hero coloring is the work of dot selected. Wait. We didn't add it yet. Okay, so class dot selected. Okay, so we're adding a conditional up here to our li. So basically we want to say on this list item, we want to add a special class only if it is the selected one. So we're going to have to add another directive here. And since it's getting nice and long, we can go ahead and break up this whole line. So then we can add another directive that says ng if, and then our condition in here. And the condition is, wait, is that how we want to do it? No. It's not that. It's not an ng if. It's class dot selected, and then basically, then you put the condition. That's an interesting syntax. So we can say if the hero is the current selection. Okay, basically, so it's going to say it is of class selected, under these conditions. So now we come back, and if we click on one, let's see, it's not changing the style, but is it actually adding the class? Yeah, it is. So we can see, yeah, as we click around, it moves the select down here. You can see how it moves the selected class around. Okay, so let's go back to our SCSS just to, on the selected, we'll just say color green. Okay, so now if someone's selected, they turn green. Okay, cool. So yeah, this is going to be a good reference. That one will take a little bit of memorizing, but the other ones are pretty straightforward. Okay, so the parentheses directives are events. The stars are like conditionals or code execution logic, and the brackets are simple DOM modifiers, or like property modifiers, attribute modifiers. Okay, I'm starting to see some patterns here. Final code review. Yeah, cool. We're done with this section too. So, master detail components. Now wait a second. Oh, this is where we're actually going to swap out two components. So it looks like we're going to jump back and forth, and then it's going to introduce the routing to jump back and forth between them, I think. Okay, cool. So I'm actually going to do a git commit and just kind of store all the stable working code that we've got right now. So we'll add and do a git status, make sure nothing weird got added. That all looks good. I'll commit. Actually, that's so yeah, when it started up the new project for us with ng new, it actually initialized the Git repository and even did an initial commit. So anything that we modified after the first commit is like our custom changes. So that's nice. Nice and clean log history. Stable working example. Okay. Just wanted to save that. Okay. At the moment, the heroes component displays both a list of heroes and the selected hero details. Yeah, keeping all the features in one component will not be maintainable, so we need to start separating them. Yes, we do. Let's go ahead and ng generate a new one. Ng generate component. And this one is called hero detail. And remember, when you do ng generate, it's automatically going to update our app.module, and there it is. It's going to update and install our module for us. Good. And then we should have the same little set of files for our component. The styles and the TypeScript code. Okay. Okay, so in the hero detail component template, it wants us to drop in there. So we're just going to wrap everything in a div. Okay, there we go. And the div is all going to be conditional. Well, it's the same one we just wrote, right? You know, so if there's a hero, I guess we can just copy over what we have in the other one. Since that's all we're moving over, we're going to take that and basically put that in its own component. But we're just going to say hero. Okay, so then in here, I guess we're going to track a hero. And that's a hero class. And we're going to have to import that. Alt-enter, add import statement. There we go. Alright, so we're in good shape. Now what do we need to do? The hero property must be an input property. Now wait a second. Okay. Oh no, it's slightly modified actually. So, no, it's still an input. Yeah, that's right. Okay, add an input to the hero property. Okay, so in the TypeScript... No, wait, where? Hero detail component TypeScript, yeah. Okay, so it goes here. And I guess we need to import a decorator. Okay. Is that right? Is that how you do the decorator? With the parenthesis? Yeah, okay. Okay, so now that knows that it's an input, I guess that means it's going to be taken in as a parameter, like an argument to a function. The hero property must be an input property, meaning, yeah, it's not going to ever define it itself, it's going to be provided by something else. Okay, so then in our parent component where we call it, well, we're going to say, hey, app hero detail. Okay, and then we tell it, since it's expecting an input of hero, and we tell it which hero to pass it. Okay, so that's how you pass the... That's like a property, I guess. Or an argue, yeah, like a property in React. Amend the Angular core to the import statement. Oh yeah, we already did that. Good old WebStorm helped us there. Just press Alt-Enter and it does the import for you. Oh, you can put the decorator on the same line? I've never... Interesting. That is a little cleaner. Show the hero detail component. Wait, I thought we did that. Okay, the heroes component is still a master view detail. It used to display the hero detail on its own before you cut that portion out to a separate template. Now it will delegate. The two components will have a parent-child relationship. The parent heroes component will control the child by sending it a new hero anytime it changes. You won't change the hero's class, but you will change the template. Okay. Update the heroes component template. Oh yeah, we just did that. Just did that, and then... Okay, so yeah, we're done with this section now. Check it out. No! Wait, this is a server-side error. Oh, I canceled it. Oh no. Uh-oh. Hope I didn't just override it. ng-serve? Alright, let's give it a second to load up. There it goes. Okay. Now it all works just as it did before, even though now we've separated out this component. Huh. It'll be interesting to see if this gets pretty unwieldy, having like a directory full of files for each component, or if that turns out being pretty nice. Windbreeze TV says, "Dude, I appreciate your channel." Well, thank you. I appreciate the audience. And a lot of times you guys help me out a lot. You guys help me get past problems. You help give me ideas and point me towards things, so it's great. I've been really enjoying it. You used a property binding. Okay, so this is all good. Now we can go on to the next section. I'm really interested in getting to the routing, and we're one section away from the routing. Services. The Tour of Heroes component, yeah, is currently getting and displaying fake data. Oh yeah, why services? Okay. In this tutorial, you'll create a hero service that all application classes can use to get heroes. Instead of creating that service with new, you'll rely on Angular dependency injection to inject it in the constructor. Services are a great way to share information among classes that don't know each other. You'll create a message service to inject it in 2 places. Interesting. So, I wonder if that replaces... I was wondering how you would manage a global state. How you would manage state between components that don't talk to each other. And maybe this is the best way to do it. Okay, so we're going to create the hero service. We'll say ng generate a service, so not a component, but a service called hero. Okay, so where does it add that? Hero.service. Okay. So now we've got a service file. Injectable. So yeah, what is this injectable? I guess that's the dependency injection. Notice that the new service imports the Angular injectable symbol and annotates the class with the injectable decorator. This marks the class as one that participates in the dependency injection system. The hero service class is going to provide an injectable service, and it can also have its own injected dependencies. It doesn't have any yet, but it will soon. Okay, get hero data. The hero service could get hero data from anywhere, a web service, a database, or a fake store like we have now. Removing data access from components means you can change your mind about the implementation anytime without touching any components. That looks like it's going to be incredibly useful for doing testing when you don't have a database and you don't have a real backend to work with, and then you can easily just swap it out with the real logic. That's cool. That's very handy. I mean, nothing too groundbreaking, but very nice. The implementation in this tutorial will continue to deliver mock heroes. Okay, so basically we're just going to add a function here called getHeroes, and it's going to return an array of heroes. So this is how you define the return of a function in TypeScript. The colon after it. So in this case we're going to return a list of heroes, and we're just going to pull the list of heroes from our mock heroes. So we're still going to pull it from the same place, but now our component here, which one are we using? Heroes. Oh yeah, so now here we can say get heroes, and we can get rid of the import to mock heroes. Now, how do we actually provide the service here to get that function? So to provide the hero service, you must make the hero service available to the dependency injection system, as you will do below. This is done by registering a provider provided in root. Okay. Oh, so is it going to be like root.getHeroes, and then we add an import? No, I think that's the wrong one. Oh no, that was it. So the import's actually coming from, I lost it, RxJS, internal compatibility. Hold on, let me finish reading this. Okay, by default, the Angular CLI, when you generate, registers a provider with the root injector. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, root's fine. Okay, so it's creating a single shared instance of that service class, which it will inject into any class that asks for it. Registering the provider in the injectable metadata also allows Angular to optimize an app. Yeah. By removing the service if it turns out not to be used. Okay. Okay, so no, we're gonna, that's not at all how we do this. Okay, so we first have to... We have our heroes, which is we're just going to define then. So we're going to say heroes is an array of heroes. And then we in our constructor is where... Oh, I see. So in the constructor is where we're going to say, hey, pass us a hero service of type hero service. And then we're going to have to import, right? Colon. My bad. Colon, and then Alt-Enter to import. Oops. Now, what did I do here? Okay. The parameter simultaneously defines a private property that's internal and identifies itself as an injection site. So just by adding it to the constructor, it's automatically going to determine that you need that class and provide it to you. So then from here we can say, oh wait, in the constructors where we can say heroes equals, we say this dot heroes equals heroes service, and then we can call get heroes. Okay, so that should be all good now. Now if we go back here, is it 4200? Okay, everything's still working. Everything is still working, very nice. And now if we ever want to swap it out, we just swap out here. We'll just say instead, oh, fetch the JSON, or fetch JSON from HTTPS endpoint. Okay. Add get heroes. Yep. Now, oh wait a second. They are adding a whole nother function to update. Call it on ng on init. Okay, so it looks like I did it in the wrong place. They were saying don't do it here, but create a separate function that returns void, and all it does is call and return. Oh no, that's where it actually sets this heroes equals this dot. No, it's yeah, this dot hero service dot get heroes. Oh, I guess there's no function. Okay, so it's just get heroes, and then on init is where we'll say not get hashes, get heroes. Okay, while you could call get heroes in the constructor, that's not the best practice. It's like they're reading my mind. It's like every time I have a question, it's the next sentence. Reserve the constructor for simple initialization, such as wiring constructor parameters to properties. The constructor shouldn't do anything. It certainly shouldn't call a function that makes HTTP requests. Instead, call it inside the ng on init lifecycle hook, and let Angular call it at the appropriate time after everything is properly constructed. Okay, well that's fine. I'll just remember, don't use constructor. The constructor should only be used to inject your dependencies, and then all the real construction should happen on the init function. See it run. Yeah, I see it running. And I guess when we change it here, yeah, it should update the text too. Got it. That's the two-way binding at work. And we did the two-way binding with this directive. No, it's in the detail here. This is the one that does the two-way binding. Bracket parenthesis ng model. Okay, observable data. The heroes get heroes method is a synchronous signature, which implies that a hero service can fetch heroes synchronously. The heroes component consumes get heroes as if heroes could be fetched synchronously. This will not work in a real app. You're getting away with it now because the service just instantly returns the list. But soon, when you add HTTP, you don't want it to lock up your app. Yeah, so how do we make it asynchronous? It can take a callback. It could return a promise. It could return an observable. Well, what should I do? In this tutorial, it will return an observable. In part because it will eventually use the Angular HTTP GET method, which also returns an observable, so we might as well get used to it now. Alright. So how do we return an observable? Observable is one of the key classes in the RxJS library. And RxJS is the reactive extensions library for JavaScript. RxJS is a library for reactive programming using observables. Got it. So when you create observables, they basically say, hey, you can watch me, and if I ever change, I'll let you know. Got it. Okay. In a later tutorial, you'll learn that the HTTP client returns an observable. Okay. I barely figured out promises. Now I gotta figure out the observable. Is it just a... you just do a dot then? Okay, so replace getHeroes method with this one. So that was part of our service. So we open our hero.service.ts, and now we're replacing it. It's not returning a list of heroes. It is returning an observable that has the type of hero list. Okay, and we have to import that from RxJS. And then here we're going to return the observable form. I don't know what the OF stands for. The observable format. Or whatever. Okay. Method. Okay. Now... okay, so basically it just wraps it with an observable state so that you can watch it. Okay. The hero observable emits a single value. The array. The array of heroes. In the HTTP tutorial, you call HTTP client get, and then you tell it what it's going to return. Interesting. Okay, subscribe. Okay, so we have to subscribe to this observable and say, hey, let us know every time you change. The hero service getHeroes methods used to return a hero. Now it returns an observable hero list array. You'll have to adjust for that difference in our heroes component. So let's go back to our component. Okay, so yeah, now this is saying, hey, you can't assign this observable to this hero type. So what do I do with this observable? I have to do a dot and then subscribe. Oh, to promise. Maybe that'd be easier to deal with. Subscribe. Is that how we do it? Yeah, dot subscribe, and then we give it a callback. And then, so the callback is going to return the type of the observable, right? So what we're going to get back is the that, and then what we can do is say this dot heroes equals heroes. And so instead we're not going to return the value, we're going to just pass the return to a callback, just like that. Okay, I like that. I can live with that. Show messages. Now wait. Hold on. Observable.scribe. Subscribe is the critical difference, yeah. The previous version assigns an array of heroes to the component heroes, yeah. That occurs synchronously. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we have to do something else now? The new version waits for... so it's still working, right? Yeah, it's still working. Okay. This new version waits for the observable to emit the array, which could happen now, or in a few seconds, or even a few minutes, or even longer. The subscribe passes the emitted array whenever it does come back. This asynchronous approach will work when we swip it out. Okay. Show messages. In this section, you will add a messages component that displays @messages at the bottom of the screen. Oh, okay. So we want to create an injectable app-wide messages service. Okay, so we're going to create a new service. Oh no. Not yet. We're going to do a component first. Okay, so we're going to do a component that I guess explains how we want to display the message, and then we're going to have a service that actually displays it. Okay, so ng generate a component named messages. Okay, so now we should have a folder called messages. And then modify the app component to just, okay, so we want to put this at the high level app component HTML. So after our app heroes, we can put our app messages. Got it. Then we need the messaging service, ng generate service message. Okay, so now we should have a messages.service. Now our hero service. Okay, so this is another injectable in our root, and we can give it any functions we want. Create the message service. Okay, so this basically is going to store and log messages and hand them out. And replace its contents with the following. Okay, so basically, yeah, we're going to track some messages internally. It's just an array of strings, and it's going to be nothing by default. And then we're going to have a function called add, so we can add a message. This.messages.push the message. Okay, and then get. Well, I guess we don't need to get, but we can just do clear. This.messages. Okay, so basically, I'm assuming you're going to check for the messages on every update or subscribe to them or whatever, and then whenever one pops in through add, pull it out and then clear it. And the pulling out is going to happen in the component that's like listening for it. The service exposes its cache of messages to two methods, add and clear. And now we need to inject it into... Oh, we're going to inject it into our other service. Okay, so our hero service is actually going to inject the message service. And that is of type message service. Oh, I think that's the colon there. And then we do Alt-Enter to import it. Okay, so what are we going to use it for in here? This is a typical service inside service scenario. You inject the message service into the hero service, which is injected into the hero component. Is that a way just to kind of minimize the injections that you have to do at the end? So, in the end, you just import one service, you don't have to import 1,000. Send a message from the hero service. Modify the getHeroes method to send a message when the heroes are fetched. Okay. So, right before we do that, we're going to say, hey, message service push, oh sorry, add, hero fetched. Oh, heroes fetched. Display the message. Display it from the hero service. The message component should display all messages. Oh, this is the actual, yeah. The messages component. So this one... Yeah, this one is also going to need to subscribe to the messages. This one makes it public, actually. Service of type. And so when we add it here, this automatically makes it, this automatically gets that dependency injected. Angular only binds to public component properties. The message service must be public in this case. because you're about to bind it in the template, and we can't bind it from somewhere else if it's private. Okay, so yeah, in our HTML component here, we're going to replace this with the div, and we're only going to display it if the messages actually has any messages. And so if we just do if it, basically if the length is non-zero, and then if it is, then we'll actually say, hey, you've got some messages, and then we'll add a button to clear all the messages, and we'll give it an event to listen to the click, and listen to the click, and if you get it, then call message services.clear, and then I think that's it. Close button. Oh no, we need clear. Okay, and then we'll actually print out the messages. So a div again, but we need to give it the ng directive. So we need to say for each message, let message of message service dot messages. Yeah, and then we're just going to print it out. No, it's a string by itself. Okay. So let's restart it. It says heroes fetched, clear the messages. So, okay, cool. And now bind the message services. No, wait, we already did that. This template, yeah, so this template we're in, the messages component template, this binds directly to the component's message service. So that's interesting. Okay. Final code review. Yep, it's all looking good. Summary: you refactored data to access the hero service class. We registered the hero service as the provider. We used Angular dependency injection. Yeah, that seems really powerful, actually. Interesting. So yeah, you can create a bunch of like singletons that get injected everywhere. You gave the hero service get data asynchronously, which is really important. You discovered the observable pattern. You used the of pattern to return observable. We used the init to initialize some things. Message service, hero service, yeah. The last thing, actually there's two more, so I'm probably going to go through these two and then wrap it up. But I was really interested in this routing. I really wanted to see how you handle changing from page to page, or quote unquote page to page. So what do we have here? There are new requirements for our app. We need to add a dashboard view, and we need to add the ability to navigate between the heroes and the dashboard view. Okay, yep, I'd like to have 2 pages, that would be great. Add the app routing module. Oh, well, I think we already did that. We did that at the very beginning when we created it, so in our app module, we can see that it has the app routing module, but I'm going to commit the code and run it anyway to see if it hurts if I run it again. Okay, so ng generate module. Oh no, this is going to be a totally new, a new module. Yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what it does. -- flat -- module equals app. Okay, it already exists. App routing.module. Okay, so yeah, it did do this step at the beginning because it asked me, do you want to use routing? Yes, no, and I said yes. So it already took care of that for me. Flat puts the file in source app instead of its own folder. Module just tells it which module to use. The generated file looks like this. Yeah, we just have it open right here. Okay, so we don't have any routes defined yet, it looks like. You generally don't declare components in a routing module, so you can delete the declarations array and delete the common module references too. Oops. So we can delete the declarations. No, mine doesn't have declarations. App routing module should look like this now. Why does mine have this one? I'll leave it in, but I'll comment it out. Oh, I see. It basically just said, it went one step further. Yeah, so this is fine. We're going to recreate that anyway in a second. So then we fill in all the paths here. So we've got a path, we got one called heroes, and then the component there is the hero detail, heroes component. That's going to be our heroes component. Okay, so that's basically saying this URL matches this component, and then I guess, oh, do I need to do another one then? Like this, path dashboard, or maybe just path slash? Can I do that? Component is hero detail. I mean, that's the only one I have right now, so why not? Once you finish setting it up, the router will match this router module for root. You must initialize the router and start it listening. Add router module. Yeah, so that's, they already did that for me here. The method is called forRoot because you configure the router at the application's root level. The forRoot method supplies the service providers and directives needed for routing and performs the initial navigation based on the current browser URL. Okay, so basically if it's already on a subpage, it'll use that as the root. Add router outlet. Oh. Open the app component and replace app heroes with the router outlet. That's our HTML template, yeah. So basically, instead of outputting our component, we're going to let the router handle it. We're going to say, router, whatever you've got, whatever you have active, go ahead and give it to us. Now is that name, where's that name defined? App routing, router outlet. Okay, so that looks like it's kind of a special name. You removed app heroes because you will only display it when the navigator decides. Router outlet is one of the router directives that became available to app component because app module imports app routing module which exported it. Okay. Try it. ng serve. Let's try. Great. It looks terrific. I guess we need to go to /heroes before it breaks. Invalid configuration of path / path cannot start with a slash. Okay. Okay, now it's working. So if we go to the root, we see the detail one, which is okay, there's nothing there now. So we haven't selected one. So if we go to /heroes, then it'll give us that, and if we go to slash, it's gonna reset the state. Yeah. Okay, so you can't do it that way in the browser. We need a way to click between them. Look in the URL and, yeah, okay. Add a navigation link, add a routing link. Yeah, user shouldn't have to paste a route URL. They should be able to click. Add a nav element with a link in it. And then, okay, so you add a router that's a special directive there. Okay, so we want that in our app component. Yeah, here we go. So right above that, we want to add our nav. And we're going to add a link. And instead of an href, instead of a hyperlink reference, we're going to give it a router link. That, I guess that's going to handle pushing the browser history state so that you can do a back, and updating the routing and telling it what component to do, and all that good stuff. And so I guess I can also do app router link slash and call that one home. Oh, they're like right next to each other. Okay. Heroes, home. Heroes, click, home. Interesting. I think it's not displaying the other one properly. Let's check out our routing, app routing. Let's interesting. Anyway, let's go back through here. Okay, so we added a routing link. Okay, so that's actually super easy. It's super straightforward. So basically, you in the main one, wherever you want the router links to be output, you use router outlet, and then to link between them, you just use a router link in the link. Okay. That's cool. A router link attribute is set. Yeah, the router handles it. Add a dashboard view. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and add your dashboard view. ng generate components dashboard. Okay. Uh-oh. Replace the file with this. Okay, I'm just gonna copy and paste your dashboard code. And in the component, copy code. Okay, we'll just drop that in and see. All it's doing is calling get the heroes. And it's only slicing into the top 5. And then what else is there? The CSS. Okay. Okay, so I guess I need to update the routing. Can't resolve. Yeah, I can't resolve the routing, I think. Now wait, hold on. Dashboard component .ts. Module not found. Dashboard.component.css. Oh. Interesting. Now, do my other ones have SCSS? They do. Oh, I just realized that it's actually referencing the SCSS directly. It's directly referencing it. It's very interesting. Okay, so now that's fine, but I need to update my routing still. So home is actually going to be the dashboard component. Okay, so now we can restart. Home is, oh, nice CSS styles. Okay, so now we've got our heroes where we can modify them, and our dashboard that we can switch between. Very nice. And we can use the back, yeah, back and forward. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. What else? What else you got for me? The template, yeah, that's... Okay, so yeah, let's look at the template. Yeah, it doesn't do anything special. It just does ng4, does a for loop, and it just makes them into little cards with a little CSS. Now hang on a second. So yeah, this... Okay. Add the dashboard route. I already did that too. Oh, what is this? Add a default route has a redirect to? Oh, I see what's happening. Instead of just saying, hey, put this at slash, we're going to say redirect to the dashboard. Okay, I am curious, if you send it to redirect, is it always going to... It will actually redirect you, it won't, like, leave you on the route and, like, secretly give you the dashboard. I see. Path match full, I guess, otherwise it'll just do the first match. No, that, Oh, I guess I still need... the actual dashboard one. So that's going to be component dashboard. Okay, so now it can actually redirect me there. And it does. It does actually send me over to dashboard. Okay, that's fine. I was just curious. Add a dashboard link to the shell. Oh, I already did that too. Well, I called it home. Navigating to hero details. Okay, so they're basically just saying create a new route. Okay, yeah, we'll go ahead and do this because I do want to see how you handle the parameters when they're passed in the URL. Okay, so add a hero detail route. No, we don't need a link, we just need a route. Okay, so I'm gonna make one. The path is gonna be hero/ID, is that how they did it? Yeah, hero/:ID. And the component is going to be hero detail component. And then we can take it out of here. Yeah, we can take it out of there. Okay, so we added it to the routing. We added a route. And then dashboard component hero links. Okay, yeah, so let's go back to our dashboard HTML. And now okay, so on here, let's break this up because it's going to be a long line. Okay, so we're going to have one more directive to or attribute to this A. It's going to be a link, but it's going to be a router link to /hero/ and then the ID of the hero. And we're going to need some kind of back button. Well, I guess we could just use the ones at the top. So if we click here, yeah, so we're not actually getting the hero data. That page is broken. Heroes component hero links. The hero items in the heroes components are list items. Strip the li. And then make an A. Okay, so we're going back to our big main list. Our big main list of them. And we're going to take the click off of that. And take off the selected, since it's all going to show up on a separate page now. And then instead of just putting out the span, we're actually going to wrap it in a link. But instead of an href, we want to give it a router link. And give it the same kind of thing, /hero/hero ID. And then, yeah, that looks good. Okay, while heroes component still works, the onSelect, oh yeah, so this is no longer needed. Routable hero detail component. Previously, the heroes component set. Yeah, okay. Heroes component doesn't do that anymore. It needs to pull it from the URL. Yeah, so how do we bind that data to the hero detail component needs a new way to obtain this ID. It needs to get the route and then extract the ID from the route and then grab that hero from the service. Okay, so we need to inject the activated route, hero service, and location into the constructor. And that's in the constructor of our hero detail. Okay, and I need to import all these with Alt-Enter. So we've injected them, so now they're available. The activated route holds the information about which route is active. The ID parameter... Okay, so... Heroes... No. Route dot... ID. This.route.id. Well, we'll see how to get it in a second. The hero service gets the data, yeah, and the location is an Angular service for interacting with the browser. You'll use it later to navigate back to the view. Extract ID by... No, wait a second. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and... So, I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this over. So get hero. Wait, now this is interesting. What is this? Is that saying make it a positive number? Is that saying make it a number? I'm a little confused what that plus does there, but from the route we get the snapshot and we get the parameter. Okay. And then we call hero service get hero, but we have to implement that because there is no get hero at the moment. So yeah, add hero service. So in our service that provides that, we need to add a single get hero that returns an observable hero. Okay, and then here, that should work now. Note the backticks. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Like get hero is asynchronous. Good. Try it. Okay. Yeah, something's broken about my hero detail view. Now, what is it complaining about here? NG can't resolve all parameters. Oh. Now where's location? I think one of these is weird. One of those imports is weird. Import location from Angular Common. Where's that coming from? That's coming from Angular Common. Yeah, no, it's coming from the right place. There we go. I think that is better. Okay, so what's going on with my hero detail? Oh, I need to do it on the init. On the init, I actually need to get the hero. There we go. That's much better. So now we can change the name. And basically go back to the list. Here, click back on the list, go to the dashboard, click on one. Go to the big list, go right to it, change it. Okay. This is all very good. Alright. Oh, we need the go back button. So yeah, in our template for the detail, why don't we add a little button here that says, okay, so we want a button, and we want it to say go back, but we want it to listen for a click event, so we wrap it in parentheses, and on the click we say go back. Now I guess we're gonna have to make that function. And we make it in our component, so in our here we'll say go back, function called go back, and I bet that's gonna use the location to go previous. Hold on, how do we do it? This location dot back. Oh, it's this, right? This dot location dot. Yeah, so you can go back and forward or somewhere direct. We'll say back. Okay, so now when you're on a detail page, you can go back no matter where you came from. So if you came from the dashboard, you go back. If you came from the hero list, you go back. And it updates your routes and URLs each time, all bookmarkable, all navigatable back and forth. Let's see, final code review. Yep, okay, now there's one section left, HTTP. In this tutorial, you'll learn to add, you'll add the following data persistence features. HTTP service gets hero data with HTTP. Okay, they can do CRUD operations over HTTP, and they can search by name. When you're done with this page, you should look at the lab example. Enable HTTP services. HTTP client is Angular's mechanism for communicating with the remote server. Okay. I don't think I actually want to do this because... Oh, what is this? Angular in-memory web API? Oh, hold on a second. This looks really interesting. Okay, enable HTTP service. So, in our at module, okay, so we have to go back to our module, our main module, TypeScript, and we need to import the HTTP client. So we'll say import HTTP client module from Angular common HTTP. Okay. Add it to the ngModule.imports array. Oh, right, we need to add it here. Tell it to load that component too. Simulate a data server. There we go. This tutorial sample mimics communication using the in-memory web API module. Oh, that's very cool. After installing the module, the app will make requests to and receive responses from the HTTP client without knowing that it's an in-memory API. It is intercepting those requests and applying them and returning simulated responses. This facility is a great convenience for the tutorial. Yes, it is, and for testing. It may also be convenient in the early stages of your own app development. Yes, 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 yes. If you're just reading this tutorial to learn about HTTP client, you can skip over this step. Yeah, I don't want to actually install the fake API. Well, yeah, how long is it? Yeah, it looks pretty thorough. I don't want to implement the whole CRUD operations, but let's see. So it told us we can skip down to skip over this step. Okay, so if we want to just do... Yeah, I'm going to... Yeah, so that's fine. In Hero Services TS, import these. Okay, so this is the one where we're defining our mock-up, where we're just returning the array. This is where we actually want to say, hey, import the HTTP client, because that's how I really want you to fetch the data. And you need to inject the HTTP client into the... Okay. So we've already got the message services. We're going to add another one. Another one for the HTTP client. Alright. Keep injecting the messages service, yeah. Define the hero's URL. Oh, yeah. So, let's see. There we go. I'm just gonna leave that as a comment to explain that's, you know, that's how you use it. Okay, HTTP methods return one value. Okay. Returns response data. HTTP client.get returns the body of the response. Okay, so this get only returns the body, and that's it. It doesn't return all the metadata about it. It just returns the body. Wait, of an untyped JSON? Wait, so by default it expects the data to be JSON? Interesting. So it automatically assumes that you're going to be using JSON. The shape of the JSON data is determined by the server's data API. Interesting. Error handling. You can catch errors. You pipe the observable through catch error. Okay. Okay, yeah, let's add that as a little comment there too. I see, so it's basically saying... No, wait. Yeah, this get, do a get, and then on the error, handle the error, and I guess return a blank list. I guess that's what it's doing, returning a default of blank. The catch error operation intercepts the observable that failed, passes the error in error handler that can do whatever you want. The following handle error method reports the error, and that's it. Log. Okay. Tap into the observable. The hero service methods will tap into the flow of observable values and send a message with a tap. That's kind of a weird one for me. Okay, so in the pipe where you're handling the result, you're just tapping in something. I'll have to get used to that, of what that does. Okay. Okay. So that's all, that's, you know, the HTTP stuff is nothing too special. I'm sure I can figure that out and how that works. So that was the last one. That was the last piece of the tutorial. I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about the framework in general. So now if we do ng build, we should get the dist folder with like the final compiled. So I wonder, does it automatically concat and minify and do all that stuff? Is it going to give me like a nice... Wait, where did it go? Where's my dist folder? There it is. Okay, index.html, very, very tiny. main.js. That looks like it's got all of our, yeah, that's got all of our components and everything. Okay, so it didn't minify, but it did concat everything into a single file. Okay, that's good. So all we'd have to do is deploy this directory and we'd be good. And just to confirm, why don't we open it up and try and run it directly? Well, let's try this. We can do python 3-m http.server and just load it up. Now wait a second. I need to go one more folder deep. There we go. Interesting. So it's not actually serving. Do we have to go to dashboard? HTTP status not found. Interesting. So why is it actually not working? Let's do console. Is there anything in the console? /heroes. Why is it? I mean, did I break it when I added let's do ng serve. Let's just make sure it still works there. Oh wait, I guess it is still being served. Oh no, we broke it here too. Yeah. Unexpected. Please add up. Yeah, okay, hold on. I added some bad code. Unexpected HTTP client module. Yeah, okay, hold on. I think I know. I added in the stuff, but I shouldn't have since I didn't actually use it. Yeah, so let's comment that one out, and let's comment that line out too. Then I think we can do that. So it's in the app module. Source app module, and yeah, we don't want that one or that one. We'll leave it commented out. There we go. Okay, so now if I go back in my terminal and I run ng build, will it work better? Building 10%, 25. Okay. Now let's try again. No such file or... Oh, because it rebuilt. There we go. It was trying to serve up a file that had been deleted from a directory that no longer existed. Okay, so now... There we go. That's interesting. The styles look a little different. That's actually very interesting. That's... Oh, is it just bigger? That's all. It's just bigger. I had it zoomed in one. Okay, yeah, so this is the one being served just as a flat HTML file. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that it ran by itself, by itself HTML file. AlCZ says, I must ask, how'd you get the animal avatar? It's a program called FaceRig. FaceRig is how you do it. So git status. Let's go ahead and add all this code. I'm gonna push this up. Let's see, I need a README. Yeah. Generated with this development server. I want to add a couple things. I want to say, I want to link to the tutorial that I followed. Where was it? Okay, so built using this tutorial. I want the hero tutorial. There it is. And then live stream of coding this project. I want to add a link to that. Yeah, copy link. I also want to add a link to the repository after I'm about to create it. New repository. This is going to be Angular hero tutorial. Built following the official Angular tutorial. Okay, let's copy that remote over. Git remote add origin. Oh yeah, let's also add it here, but let's add the HTTP one. Okay, and why not? We'll add some contact info just in case. Okay, then stable working example. Push it up. Oh yeah, git push set upstream origin master. Alright, there we go. Now it's all up. We got links to all of the stuff. They work. Contact info. Okay, this is going to be a really good reference. So, this is interesting. The framework probably has a lot more features that I'm not even tapping into, like the animations. But it's not as bad as people made it sound like it was going to be. They made it sound like I would have to learn a lot more just to even get going with it. But while it did take maybe a little bit longer than it did with React, like we're only at about 2 hours, and I'm done with the tutorial, and I feel pretty comfortable. Like I feel pretty confident that I could go start writing my own front end, and I could get away with it enough. I'd have to look up things here and there, but I could get started and start working towards something. So I like that. Now, let me check my agenda because there were a couple things I wanted to look into, like using native scripts. Okay, so we finished the tutorial. Extra stuff. Let's see, compiling for native, using native script or Cordova. What would that process be like? And how about the Chrome developer tools? Is there a, I think there is, like there's a plugin that you can use to get more information about the app, kind of like the React tools, where it lets you actually inspect the React DOM. Okay. What else? We did the routing. Oh, you know, research existing component packs. I noticed that there were a lot of component packs online that were like consistently themed components, like a pack of 100 components, all themed consistently that you could just use all over your app. So I'm gonna check out some of those. What else? Yeah, those are some of the things I want to check out after the break. I'm gonna go take a break now, though. I'm gonna take about a 5-minute break, and then I'm gonna come back and check out... Oh, let me do this. Let me leave up the agendas in case people come up and just join. Learning Angular, and basically we learned... Oh wait, no, these are the done ones, and these are the to-do. We're gonna research it, we may not do it. And then installing Hello World, follow the beginner tutorials, and publish simple example app. And then I'll post that link here real quick. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna go take a break, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Alright. I'm back. So, we left off. I just finished the whole beginner tutorial. And we got it running and working, and everything's looking good. It's nice and smooth. I'm real happy with it. Now, what I wanted to do before I wrap things up is actually just do a little bit of research. And I wanted to see, for example, so what would it take to make a mobile app? Now, I've heard a little bit about this native script, and I'm wondering what the process would be like to compile the native script, and also how similar or different it would be with Cordova. So my understanding is with Cordova, it's actually just rendering a WebKit frame and rendering the HTML, whereas NativeScript is more like React Native, where it's actually converting your elements to native widgets. So in that case, my question is it like React Native where you actually have to go into your code and, like, in your HTML, you actually need to swap out, like, oh, I don't need a div, what I need is like a list view or whatever you have in Android. So, Angular plus NativeScript tutorial. Alright. Is that what we're gonna do? How much time do we have? Learn the NativeScript. No, I just want to browse through it and see what it looks like. Core concepts, technical overview. How NativeScript works. The NativeScript technology can be presented as built upon several major parts: runtimes, core modules, CLI, and plugins. Application code, okay, that's what we write. Then the application framework. In our case, it's Angular, but it looks like you can do just regular JavaScript and Vue or NativeScript. Okay, and then NativeScript core modules, cross-platform abstraction. It is okay, so it actually does abstract to native views and uses NativeScript runtime. Okay. Okay, so it's going to be much more performant than a Cordova. Hold on. The runtimes enable you to call APIs in the Android framework using JavaScript code. You know, that's what's interesting about this too, is it's not just a wrapper that requires you to build wrapper functions. Like, if there's a new API in the core underlying API, it's available automatically, instantly, day zero, because you can call directly into the namespaces. So you truly get a native. So what would it be like to run to compile an Angular? Okay, here, Angular Bootstrap. Maybe this will answer it. This article will cover in detail the process of bootstrapping an Angular application. Uh-oh. Okay, so what do? The traditional NativeScript application starts by initializing global objects, setting up global CSS rules, creating and navigating to the main page. Angular does not care about any of that. All it needs is a DOM in place to attach to. Of course, Angular applications need to take care of their own initializations, dependency injection. A NativeScript Angular app needs to make both paradigms work together, so we provide a wrapper, NativeScript Platform Dynamic. That sets up a NativeScript application and can bootstrap the Angular framework in a default location on the main UI page. Okay, so we basically just say bootstrap our Angular app. But then it is just doing a web view, is it not? Or is it really being smarter than that? One of our major design goals here is to provide virtually the same interface as the default Angular Bootstrap code routine. Okay. Okay, so this all looks the same. This all looks the same. Wow. I guess that's it. Like, you really just copy over your Angular app and you just call this and it goes, okay, boom, I'm loading up your app. So that looks pretty cool. Now, tooling, transpilers, set up Android emulators. No, okay. CLI basics, TNS create, template, TNS blank ng. Okay, so this is specifically, wait, yeah, Angular. Native script Angular. This is specifically about Angular, okay. Getting started with native script and Angular. Native script doesn't require Angular, but it's even better when you use it. You can fully reuse code. You can fully reuse skills and code. Fully reuse code from the web. So you don't have to replace all of your elements like you do in React Native. Ready to get started? Yes! Step 1, Native Script Playground. Oh wow. Native Script Playground, okay. Now, okay, components. How do we add a component? Interesting. It's like a visual text. Oh! Okay, now how do we view it? Preview? No. Oh, I guess you have to like... Can you not run it here? Yeah, you have to scan the QR code, and I guess that gives you all the compiled code or the source or whatever. Okay. Now, I just wanted to see... Oh, okay, yeah, so basically it's very similar for both. You just kind of wrap it and bootstrap it. Lead page. Step 2, install native script command line. Step 3, learn native script command line interface basics. Step 4, join the community. Okay. Basically they're like, hey, you want to learn how to use Angular? Just learn the native script CLI tool. Okay. Okay, creating applications. Running applications. Okay, then how about building? Next, open it on your iOS or Android device. Okay. Live sync. Okay, actually, I'm really curious about this now, so I want to install this. Is it just npm install TNS? No, that doesn't seem right at all. npm install native script -g. Yeah, I want to see what the project looks like when we generate it. And actually, yeah, real quick, I want to see browser plugin Angular dev tools. Is there something like that? Augury. A Chrome and Firefox dev tools extension for debugging Angular applications. Okay. Let's install on Firefox. Yes, add to Firefox. I accept your ability to access my data on all websites. No problem. Alright, so now if we go check out an Angular app, this one should still be running. Now if we do inspect element, we should see, yeah, there's augury over here. And this gives us, okay, Angular version. Alright, we got the component tree, the route. Oh, look at that, that is slick. It's got a router tree, and it shows us all the details about the router. I like that. Okay. And then it tells you also about all the modules that are imported, what you've imported here, your declarations, your exports, your providers, your forms modules, app routing. Oh yeah, this is great. And your component tree. So you actually see the real components with their real names and everything, as opposed to the HTML DOM, which is the ugly compiled version. And it lets you inspect all the details. Look, like true JavaScript inspection of all of the components on runtime. Yeah, okay. Augury. Augury, very intuitive, easy to install, easy to use. Okay. Okay, so that, cool. That is augury. Okay. So, yeah, we're checking that out now. Type, oh, it wants me to do something? No, I do not want to send you stuff. If you are using Z shell, you can enable command line completion. Yeah, I want that. I will leave it empty. Cloud builds require Telerik account. Okay. Okay, so now I have that TNS program. Oh wow, there's a ton of options. Okay. Native script CLI. Native scripts. Okay. General commands. Help, autocomplete, doctor, info, proxy, update. Commands. Create, preview, init, platform add, okay. Deploy, build platform Android. Okay, I want to try something. So I want to start with a create. We'll do TNS create test native script. Oh, yeah, okay. First, which style of native script? Let's do Angular. And let's start with, why don't we do tabs? So this is a lot like the React Native. You know, I was reading that the Angular team worked with the React team, or with the React Native team at least. And I think a lot of this is actually built on top of the React Native code. So I'm not sure the connection there. But okay, we've got a new project. A new project open. Now I think I can open WebStorm. Yeah, I've got a shortcut for WebStorm. Okay, so now it's opened up my new project. And it looks just like our Angular app as far as layout of the file structure. Okay, it's got a whole bunch of hooks that weren't there before. Those look like they might be specific to the native script. Okay, so now in our terminal, if we do TNS build, we need to give it the platform we want to build. Yeah, I want you to build Android. And look, I've got my Android virtual device. Boom. Pop it open. We can even test it out. Okay, so let's check out this code actually. So in the app, we've got our components. Okay, it looks slightly different just because it's got a little bit of Android-specific stuff. Okay, home. So if we check the home component, TypeScript, that all looks the same. Now what about the HTML? Yep, it is. It sure is. You do have to change out the elements here, just like React Native. So you can't just say, you know, href or div, p, span. You actually have to work with the native. So in that regard, it's got the same change that you need to do with React Native. Okay, that's interesting. That's what I mean. That's really what I wanted to know. And it looks like it's building. It's going to take a while to build. That's fine. We'll just let it build and see how it goes. Actually, what I have open here in the phone right now is the app that we made in React Native. So that's actually what's open there. And we've got, what, our Bitcoin price checker. Oh, this isn't the Kiwi one. Bitcoin is now $3,895. Okay, so while that's building, I want to see Angular component collections. And I saw a few. Yeah. Yeah, this was a good page. It had a lot of stuff on it. So it's got a list of IDEs that they recommend. Tools, yeah, there's the augury. So there's a whole bunch of tooling that can be used. Data libraries. UI components, here it is. So, yeah, there's Angular material. Allow UI, minimal design, set of components for Angular. Blocks, material. Dev extreme. There's one, yeah, prime faces. That's one that's been around in the Java world for a while. Prime faces. So, open 80 widgets. Like, let's see, look at all these widgets they offer. Oh, these look kind of nice, actually. So yeah, you know, just hey, look, we got a bunch of widgets you can use that are nice. Okay, so these are inputs. Let's see what kind of buttons they have. Ooh, ah. Now, if you use something like Bootstrap, you know, you can obviously style and create your own. This is just a whole set. Oh, a Gmap? Ooh. How do you use this one? You just tell it center on a latitude and longitude? Wow, that's really easy. And it's a Google map. Wow. Okay, I like that. That's pretty cool. Panels. Cards. Okay, cards. Panels, accordions. Yeah, these are, these could save you a lot of time, actually. Wow. Okay. Charts. Ooh, menus. Oh, it's like a drop-down menu. Those are some nice looking breadcrumbs too. Charts. Ooh, a donut chart. Oh, it's nice and interactive too. Still somewhat interactive. If I was going to do a chart though, I'd probably use d3.js. d3.js has like the most incredible visualizations. They've got all kinds of cool stuff. It's usually interactive. But anyway. Charts. Messages? Oh, yeah. Toasts. Yeah, so that's, I mean, that's a real nice set of widgets to get you started. Okay, so how would you use it? It's available at npm. If you have an existing, you just install prime-ng and prime icons. Oh, there's an icon set? I'd be interested in seeing the icon set. Okay, so you just like, okay, import accordion, menu. Oh, wow. This is actually really cool, the idea that you can just grab components kind of pre-built. And with Angular, the styling is all unique and like limited to scope to that component, so you don't have to worry so much about stuff conflicting. Oh, there's an activity icon. That's cool. Okay, here's all the icons. There's some free icon sets out there too. There's a lot of icon sets actually. But okay, so there's prime faces. What about some of these other ones? Dev Extreme. Pandal says, "Hi there, great videos. Do you plan to do some WebAssembly or how to make a language server from scratch?" I'm not sure what you mean by a language server. More Rust? Yeah, I'm definitely going to do more Rust. I think the next time I do Rust, it's going to be writing a Python module in Rust so that you can continue to use Python, but if you need some high performance or some low-level memory control, then you can access some of that through a Rust module. That's what I want to do. As far as WebAssembly, I don't have any plans on doing that right now because I don't have any use case for it. I don't have any use case for WebAssembly. I mean, I have been interested in looking more into it, but I can't think of any use case right now. So, give me an example that would be fun and useful, and I'll be all over it. But I like to focus on practical, useful things. And I'm sure it's totally, there's a reason they made it, but for me, it doesn't help me for anything that I can think of. So yeah, I wanted to see what these widgets look like. Oh no, these, I think these are paid. Yeah, free trial, no thanks. Okay, material design. So there's a whole bunch of material design components. Yeah, I want demos. Here we go. Blocks. Material components for Angular. Yeah, let's see. Give me a demo. How about drawers? Oh. Those are okay. These are okay. I kind of like the prime faces. The prime faces were looking really good, actually. Alile UI, minimal design set of components for Angular. Alright, let's see what you got. Buttons. Buttons. Avatars, badges, buttons, cards. Yeah, very simple card. Carousel, meh. Dividers, drawers. I can see that being pretty useful. Fields, icons. Interesting. Okay. Snack bar? Oh, that's a nice one. That one looks nice. Toolbar. Yeah. Okay. I'm just browsing some of these Angular material. Oh, this is another one? Oh, this is the one I opened up already. Yeah, let me see the components. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, they're okay. Actually, the best one was the prime faces. so far. I looked at a couple, but this Prime NG Prime faces, I really liked these. I thought these looked really nice. Well, I mean, for what they are. I usually use Bootstrap. So I wonder if they have Angular Bootstrap components. Angular powered Bootstrap. Bootstrap widgets, the Angular way. Angular widgets built from the ground up using only Bootstrap 4 CSS. Okay, that seems perfect because I'm very familiar with Bootstrap. It's kind of my go-to. And so, yeah, having Angular elements that wrap the formal Bootstrap things are going to be really nice. How about the nav? Is there one for navigation? Modals? Oh, modals are usually real tricky, but this looks like it makes it really easy. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to check this one out. I think this is probably the one I'm going to go with. I'll either go with this Bootstrap one or that Prime Faces one. Those seem to be pretty solid. You know, I do want to mention this one called W2 UI. And this one's really good. Like, I think this would be really good if you want to make an Electron app for the desktop. So, like, here's one that shows you can do layout, and so it's got like all of these elements that you can have, and you can even nest multiple elements. So you can have really complicated UIs. You know, you could have like a whole email client built with a layout like this. But they've got, and like this one, the sidebar. Like, this is good for creating like real complex applications with a lot of data where you want to make it kind of condensed. So this W2 UI is a really good one too. Oh yeah, they like things like this grid. Yeah. Yeah, these are really nice too. Okay. So where were we? This was building? Oh yes, we got an APK! Oh yeah. CD... What? No. CD... No, okay. Copy. Well, let's see. So it's in... Platforms, Android, build... No. Platform... Android, app, build, outputs, APK, debug. There it is. Okay, so now, to install it on the emulator, all you have to do is drag and drop it. Okay, so it's installing this APK of the native script Angular app. Now, if we pull open our apps, I think this is alphabetical. Oops. So what is it called? What was it even named? What was the name of the project? Native script application, test native script. Oh, there it is. It's on the bottom left. Test native script. Okay, we'll pop it open. Okay, so you can probably replace that splash screen. And then, yep, here it is in all its glory. Okay, but the thing is, you do have to swap out the HTML with the native elements. So it looks like it really is just kind of using React Native under the hood. Okay. So that really answers my big question. You can't take it directly unless you use the Cordova wrapper. And I really am interested too. Cordova build Android, how do you do that? And Cordova Angular? So yeah, we did just look at this, and they showed us basically... Can I not close this? Can I not close that little bar? Okay. npm install Cordova, Cordova create, Cordova mobile app. Okay, so you just stored a normal one, and then you just wrap the Angular app. Okay, so you basically build it and put it in the dub folder. Wow. I guess it's literally that simple. Lastly, to fully integrate Cordova, its script files need to be referenced. That way, yeah, you get access to all of it. Okay. Yeah, that's really easy. It's basically just like the other one too. Okay, then you build it. How do you build it? Build. You just do Cordova build, I'm guessing. Oh, it doesn't even say. Come on, build. Oh well. Yeah, so basically when you do Cordova, since all it does is create a WebKit view and then drop you into the web view, I guess all you do is have a dub folder where you put an index.html, which is where you literally drop your app. So, okay, that answers my questions about how to use NativeScript in Cordova. I'd probably start with Cordova and drop the app in directly, and if it performs really slowly, then I'd rewrite the components to use the NativeScript. And we researched the extra components, so we had a good night. I learned a lot about Angular. I really liked it, and honestly, I think I like it more than React because it does take care of the routing and all of that stuff for you. Where with React, you still have to you have to find your own modules to use and make your own decisions. And I'm not a big front-end guy. I like the fact that it takes care of those decisions. I'm going to trust the people that built the framework, that they thought through these decisions and decided, like, here's what a router needs to do. We're going to add the router with the features it needs and do all that. So I like the system so far. I give it my approval so far. But okay. Thank you all for hanging out, and I'm gonna call it a night. I'll see you guys. Well, I guess I'll do my plugs real quick. I do daily live streams here, so subscribe if you're new, so you can get all the new daily streams. Check out all the streams we've done in the past, and all the code, I push it up to github.com/devdungeon. And if you're not on the Discord server, go to devdungeon.com, come over on the right hand side, there's a join me on Discord button. Just click on that, it'll bring you to our Discord server. You can also check out my book, Security with Go. And yeah, just subscribe and come hang out on the Discord server. Thank y'all, have a good night.